are back with another film review, and today I'm reviewing Ready or Not Part 2, Here I Come. This film was amazing, and I kind of predicted. I kind of predicted after seeing the first one and seeing the trailers that first film was establishing a premise, and in this film they just ran with it, and oh my gosh. So have you seen the trailers? The premise of this film is the bride from the previous film, her and her sister are captured by the family and they must play hide and seek again. And through navigating, you get to see like the bond and the relationship between the sisters, but then also more the family dynamics. It turns out there ends up being 6 families, and each of the, not only the family members, but the families have a different type of personality, a different era, but then also there's a blend of different cultures. So this film, compared to the last one, I felt like had a lot more personality, and it improved on some of the things with the previous film, because in this film, not only do you have the unique families and the personalities, but they're actually interacting with the protagonist. Because like the first film was good, but you rarely see interactions or dialogues between the antagonist and the protagonist. It was more so like the bride was running and fleeing. This one is a little bit more hands-on. It's definitely a little bit more brutal than the previous film. You know what? Brutal by a long shot, and a lot more death, blood, and everything. It just really upped the ante, and I will say the humor for this film definitely hits. Definitely hits. It's dark, it's gritty. There are times where I was in the theater, there was a guy behind me, he laughed at every joke. But there was one death scene and somebody laughed, and it was very morbid. It's like a very dark sense of humor. But like this is a great sequel. And you have like a stellar cast. You have Buffy the Vampire Slayer, you have the bride returning, you have that guy that looks like he was from The Bear. Again, I'm just a fan of films. I don't know these actors' names, but man, it was a pleasure seeing this film. And I think like the way that these films function, in a way, you can easily, just as simple this the way the first one had ended. I feel like with this film, I can see the potential of a sequel. But if they ended here, it wouldn't be bad. But I will say in the third act, it did get meta, because like you're teased throughout the film, and you really have to pay attention to the family, the bylaws, and what's biblical, and what the Satanists within this film, like what rules that they have to abide by, right? And I will say paying attention does pay off. But I will say near the end of the film, they kind of hit you over the head with the message like, huh, this is what we mean. This is what we mean, okay? Damn. Like, I get it. I get the message. But again, I had a blast with this film, and I literally can't wait to see it again, just for the creativity of the kills, but then also to just really hone in on the different personalities types that the family has and their motives. And I think that can be hinted out, especially seeing how things ended. I was like, huh, were there hints of this person's personality throughout the film? Were there things that could have been improved on in regards to this film? It's a stellar film, but I will say the ending could have been better. Like, it was simplistic in a sense, but sometimes you don't have to be all these grand gestures. Sometimes a story can resolve itself and it be like a simple ending. It doesn't have to be complicated, right? But even though I did say there's a possibility of another film in this entry, right? I have to contradict myself by saying I don't know how they're going to do it, right? Because the transition from 1 to 2 makes sense, logical sense. But from go to 2 to 3, it's like, how the fuck they're going to do it? But I don't, maybe that's not a knock to this film. But I can't foresee this film doing well, right? And then we not get a third film. I can't foresee it. Even with the aftermath of that. I know I'm talking in riddles, but I'm trying my best to avoid spoilers. And the funny thing about it, we get this film, right? And the very next week, They Want to Kill Us with Zazie Beetz. And the films are very similar. So I don't want to, but since like you have like a woman that's being chased and she has to survive and there's these killers after her, I think that them releasing side by side, it was intentional, and I would like to see how these films differ, right? But comment down below. Have you had the privilege of seeing Ready or Not Part 2, Here I Come? What are your thoughts? Comment down below. And as always, like, I already said a comment, subscribe, and jarritos on me. Ciao.